Everybody is freaking out over EVs right now, but they're still not a viable solution for everybody. Plug-in hybrids like this very fancy Mercedes S-Class could be an interesting option for you if you want to put a dent in your fuel bill, but you're not yet ready to make the full transition into an electric vehicle. Today, I'm going to be breaking down for you what exactly is a plug-in hybrid, plus going over some of the pros and cons.
For more expert car reviews, don't forget to share our channel and subscribe so you can catch some of this and maybe even a little of that.
The first question we're going to answer today is, what is a plug-in hybrid? A plug-in hybrid has a big battery and a gas engine. So as long as you've got gas in the tank, you're good to go. You can plug it into charge, and you should plug it into charge, but you don't technically need to, because once the battery is depleted, it will run just like a traditional gas-powered car that you're already used to. But keeping it charged up unlocks gas-free driving, which is a major benefit. And today's plug-in hybrids can offer as little as 20 kilometers of electric range in something like this Mercedes, or as much as 68 kilometers in something like a Toyota RAV4 plug-in hybrid. The next question we're going to answer is, what is the difference between a hybrid and a plug-in hybrid? So a regular hybrid cannot be plugged in to charge. Some people call them self-charging hybrids because the battery charges as you drive using the gas engine and the regenerative braking. But because the battery is smaller, you can't really drive on electric power alone unless you're parking or waiting at a stoplight. With a plug-in hybrid, on the other hand, and as the name suggests, you must plug it in to charge, but because it has a bigger battery, it enables you to drive on electric power alone for longer periods and at higher speeds like the highway. Probably the biggest benefit to plug-in hybrids is the fuel savings. So as long as you stay charged up, you should be able to do a lot of your errands on electric power alone and not have to burn a single drop of fuel until you need to go on a longer trip. So a lot of PHEV drivers who can charge every day are reporting that they're only going to the gas station once a month or even less. Today's plug-in hybrids are not the boring, slow, crunchy granola cars that you might be thinking of. A lot of automakers like Mercedes are using plug-in hybrid powertrains to augment both performance and fuel economy, which are two things that don't normally go together. So with a lot of plug-in hybrids today, you get that instant boost of electric power that doesn't really have a bad effect on your fuel economy. One big benefit of plug-in hybrids is that you don't need to install any specialized equipment to charge it, because every single one of them comes with an onboard charger just like this one, and all you need is access to a regular 110 volt household outlet. And it only takes a couple hours to charge, so if you plug it in overnight, you can wake up in the morning with 100% battery. Plug-in hybrids get green plates, and in most of Canada, that gives you access to the high occupancy vehicle lanes on the highway, even if you're the only person in the car. Many plug-in hybrids are eligible for government incentives and tax rebates. Obviously, this Mercedes is way too fancy to qualify, but there are a lot of other plug-in hybrids that do qualify, and that helps make them more affordable. No range anxiety is also a huge plus. With a full charge, a full tank of gas, and a light right foot, a Toyota RAV4 plug-in hybrid can go nearly 1,000 kilometers. Plus, gas stations are way easier to find than charging stations, which means zero range anxiety. So those were some of the pros, but there are some cons we have to go over too. And one of them is that plug-in hybrids don't really make a lot of sense unless you can charge it at home or at work for free to really maximize those fuel savings. Personally, I couldn't buy a plug-in hybrid because I live in a condo and I don't have access to home charging, so it just doesn't make a lot of sense. They also don't make a lot of sense if you have a long daily commute, because a lot of plug-in hybrids actually aren't that efficient unless the battery is fully charged. So if your daily commute is longer than the provided battery range, it's a lot of added complexity for not a lot of benefit. Another thing to consider is that unlike fully electric vehicles, plug-in hybrids still require oil changes and all that maintenance that you have to do with traditional gas cars, and that's an added expense. And then one more thing that I need you guys to consider is that plug-in hybrids can be a lot more expensive than traditional hybrids. And unless you're plugging it in all the time to maximize those fuel savings, that difference isn't going to pay itself off quickly. To recap, plug-in hybrids give you access to the HOV lanes, they're great for short commutes, and you don't need to install any special equipment to charge them. On the other hand, PHEVs only make sense if you keep it charged up as much as possible. In some like this Mercedes, it's an extra complication without any huge benefits, and you still have to do all the maintenance like a normal gas car. Like EVs, plug-in hybrids are only going to make sense for a very specific group of people. So if you're shopping for a PHEV, make sure to look for one that has a lot of range. And please make sure you can charge it as much as possible, because if you can't do that, you might just be better off with a regular hybrid or a traditional gas car.